That's the proof you around. Yeah. Good. How are you, man?
I recognize you guys from the video.
Sorry I was a bit late, dude. Took the wrong time.
Oh, that'll do it right away.
Yeah, flies and love from it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ended up somewhere. I don't know where the fuck we ended up.
Yeah, driving around Florida Drive. So the architecture is interesting, but I don't know if that's the way to go to blend it in. I mean, it looks cool with your styling and everything, but I think maybe we should develop out a concept or an idea based on what, like, style and wardrobe that we have that might. I mean, I know the studio is interesting and it's all fresh, but I hate to, like, wash that concept out, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? See how leaning into it, this is too normalized to where I do like the distortion and the perspective here.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
And this is kind of a cool profile, you know what I mean? Because the side of the way your face profiles with your hair and beard. Okay, so let's just try more of that. Am I confusing you?
No, it's fine. Just tell me where you want to go and what you want to do.
Further down the hall, you think? Just droplets in the air, you know. And he's got some water on him, yeah. You know, but I don't know how you feel about some water in your hair. You know, that might look great. You know, you got long hair, you know, you got thick hair. You know, I mean, you know.
So you've been there before, right? You know about Runyon Canyon?
Yeah, I really like Runyon Canyon. Why is it called Runyon Canyon? Is it after a family, or has it got another? Do you know a
That's
different
a good question. There was a writer named Damon Runyon, wasn't there?
I don't know. Eamon Runyon.
Runyon. Maybe
Damon.
he had something to do with it, or maybe that's the
Runyon.
same family.
So when was the last time you went up Runyon?
I went up there with my pal Serena about a year ago. And actually my boy, we took him up there too. And went all the way to the top. And it's a good workout.
Uh-huh.
Especially if you've got a 5-year-old who he insisted on carrying this full adult-sized skateboard with him. And so I had to carry him, and there's a lot of dog shit up there, so
Yeah, it's a shame. This is a good route, man.
It's just has been one of the better ways of getting across into Hollywood, which is almost impossible usually anyway. Ronald Reagan used to live in his hotel right here.
He used to live in the Montecito.
Yeah. And I think other stars of the golden era of Hollywood.
So that was when he was an actor.
Yeah. Way back when. So there's a bit of Hollywood lore.
Do you know anything about?
this place.
Was Reagan into orgies and stuff when he was in
You know,
in
he's
his early
probably
days?
one of the few that wasn't. Manilow had this famous pink house
Yeah?
up on the top of the hill here that you saw for a mile.
Where is it now?
And it's where it always was, but I don't think it's pink anymore.
Oh, this is Manilow's house.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Smile.
I'm trying to remember the guy's name, but he did a couple of books actually devoted to the Beach Boys, which were they were all made up of clippings from old.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them.
You've seen those books?
Yeah, I've
And his
seen
name
the
is-
Smile one, which is it's yellow and it's just black print.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
He made. I can't remember his name. Anyway, he made me this his version of the Ultimate Smile, what he thought it ought to be, and I just found that again the other day, and it's really fascinating, his take on it.
Does he know Brian Wilson?
Yeah, he knows him very well. I know Brian Wilson,
I'd love to meet Brian Wilson.
and I had lunch with him one day up in a cafe off Mulholland. He bought me lunch. Insisted that I eat. Can I tell you about this?
No, tell me.
He was just, I really liked the guy because he's genuine, he's eccentric, but he also plays with his eccentric image quite a bit. He knows that you assume that he's a little bit cracked.
Yeah.
He fucks with you. So I was really glad to see that, because it means, in fact, he does have some mental Cassidy left.
That's good to know, man. That's really good to know.
In the middle of the interview, I'm trying to do an interview eating this big, gigantic tuna sandwich, and he says, "How's the tuna?" It's good. He says, "Well, can I have a bite?" Yeah, sure. So, and I always felt that he did that as a kind of staged kind of thing.
Wow. Wow. Weird.
I just think after all this, he's not quite as cracked as he's made out to be.
Are you into the early Beefheart records?
Yeah.
They're really good, aren't they, man?
Fuck yeah.
I mean,
that stuff was a very big part of me. Trout Mask, especially.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah.
And Safe as Milk.
Safe as Milk, Trout Mask, and
And
my decals.
yeah, absolutely. I got that for Beaches for his birthday on vinyl the other day.
Yeah.
Trout Mask Replica is a fucking dark record.
It is. A lot of that stuff that was associated with Zappa and that label at the time was a little bit scary to me when I first got into it.
There's no equivalent today, is there?
I guess maybe there might be attempted equivalents.
There's no genuine equivalent, I don't think.
The adjective "be partying" has become such a cliche.
Yeah, man, that makes me want to blow my head off. Makes me think of advertising.
just went in front of the truck.
This is amazing, this record. Fucking brilliant album. Things are so supposedly he made 267 albums in his lifetime. But the amount that you can get, I just tend to be repeats. You know what I mean? So once you've got those, you know what I mean, where do you go? I don't know. I don't know where you're meant to go. Once everybody is it, yeah, then it's not cool anymore, is it? Yeah. Isn't that the nature of cool, yeah? It was cool, it was really cool being in a band where you were one of the only people in the band and you were making some kind of magic music that no one had ever heard. And all those things are kind of impossible now.
Doesn't seem impossible when you guys do it.
Well, maybe not. Maybe not to people who happen to be the people who believe in that moment, yeah? But it still doesn't take away from the fact that it's not the coolest thing to do anymore, is it? Everybody does it, man. Everybody makes music. Everybody's in this, everybody's in that, everybody has their 15 minutes. And everybody, I don't know, there's no true magic left over. Not that I see, anyway.
It seems like what you are trying to do is bring that back, and even if people aren't as accepting of it now as you'd like them to be, but I think more bands of your style where you're not just doing things to make money or anything, but you're actually just making it to... Even bands who are doing it to make money say they're not doing it to make money. But...
Well, I don't think necessarily money's the issue, yeah?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with making a shitload of money. I don't think.
Well...
But I think that there's something wrong if you're doing something you don't want to do just to make money.
Well, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But, you know, even then that can make amazing art, you know?
Yeah. But I think what I'm trying to say is...
You're looking for integrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys are making what's...
Something more than just doing something on a computer and then putting that onto a MySpace playlist with some pictures. You know what I mean? That's everybody. That's common denominator. That's anybody that's any kid.
Yeah, I mean...
Ever.
DJs these days, like, they're not even mixing. They're just throwing songs onto a playlist.
Music's become something different, hasn't it, man?
They made it so easy.
Totally different. I don't listen to modern music because of that. You know, I like the way it comes to me from the past. I think it looks really good. You know, it comes with more magic attached to it, rather than listening to contemporary music. Because contemporary music can only be made by people who play video games and watch television, unless they're really weird people. And there aren't that many weird people. You know what I mean? It's cool, but I don't want to hear music made by people who watch TV. Yeah. I'm not into TV, man. Yeah. This has got to be one of my favourite Bob Dylan records. Amazing. Yeah. I Shall Be Free, number 10.
What I love about artists like Dylan is that, like, someone who may not even, like, people think that he has a terrible voice and that's why they don't listen to him.
Yeah, everybody thinks that before you get into him.
Yeah.
Everyone.
It's just bands like that where they don't have to be perfect when you first listen to them.
Yeah, quite the opposite. They have to be really, really, really bad. Because he's real genius, man.
Yeah,
obviously. You know. But there's nothing to buy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Once you've got it, you've got it. It's a shame there's not loads of other stuff they can't release. This looks like Photoshop to me. This looks like God shot. $5 plus tax. I had this on CD when it first came out, and the version of Moon Age Daydream is fucking brilliant. Check that out. Should we get this, lads, for $3? It's worth getting $3, man. It's got Let's Dance on it, Modern Love, and China Girl. 3 songs which are absolutely essential to have. $2.99. Oh, lad, look. Look at Iggy on Zombie Birdhouse, man. System Midnight.
Wow. David Bowie. Wow. How long ago was that? Oh, 77?
Yeah.
He doesn't even look like him. I didn't know David Bowie worked with Iggy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's the reason Iggy Pop's famous.
I didn't know that.
They became friends after the Stooges. And the Stooges didn't really sell any records in their time. They wrote China Girl together.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he produced quite a lot of Iggy stuff. Little China girl. You go take a right and a right.
Alright, where we at?
I've developed my idea of what World Empire Inc. is since I first mentioned it to you. That's why I haven't done anything with it since I thought of the name, because I've been thinking about exactly what to do, you know?
What's that?
And what I'm going to do is start a company called World Empire Inc., which will have 3 companies underneath it, a recording company, a publishing company, and a film company.
Really?
Which will all, each in turn, specialise in the exploitation of the owned rights, yeah, to whatever.
Uh-huh.
And in order to get it off the ground, rather than just like starting going, hey, there's an album, does anyone want to get into this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to, over the course of a year, which is why my cousin's coming today, because he's going to build the website, because that's what he does, yeah. I'm going to put out somewhere between 5 and 10 different artists' work, which is films and short films and drawings and music and stories and little writings, all these classically artistic and all interlinked pop culture expressions, yeah, or whatever you want to say.
Uh-huh.
And wow, no, oh sweet Jesus.
Maybe we could get them to lend us the horse and you could ride down here.
Oh my God, let's go and talk to her. So what's the horse's name?
Trying to find one. I don't really know yet. His given name was Sirocco. So you can tell him in Syria. He's only 2.5. I just brought him here, so I don't know quite the name yet. If you know
On a
anything-
boat?
Huh?
On a boat?
No, with a trailer from the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
It'll take a little long, I guess. But yeah, if you know a name, let me know.
Huh?
If you know a name, let me know. A cool name.
I don't know whether I'd be able to name a horse.
Yeah.
That's a heavy responsibility.
Well, people just throw out some names and then.
How about a temporary name? You could always change it.
Yeah. That's what Siri is, the temporary name, the short version of his real name, but I don't like it so much. It'd just be cool to have a all real name.
Hello, how are you? Good, thank you. Could I get the fruit rainbow, please?
Fruit rainbow? Okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, so then they moved it to here, and we were recording a couple of blocks over there, and we used to come here every day for lunch.
How long did Never Never Love take to record? Like
4 months. From start to finish. I was getting obsessed with John Lee Hooker and how he made over 100 albums in his lifetime, and none of them are anything much more than him playing and singing guitar. Sometimes there's other people who join him and whatever, but you know, it's very, for want of a better word, it's like it's instantaneous. You know, he just goes. That's the new recording, and changing the world of music with that. And I guess that's.
Is that something you're interested in doing yourself? Like just releasing when you come up with an idea and a song, you write it, you record it, and then you release it?
That'd be really good, wouldn't it? It's like the fastest output with the greatest quality is what anybody would be aiming for. You know what I mean? So the world is in such a state now that you can just release records every day if you want. And the only difference is however many people download it.
Yeah.
Which, you know, as we all know, isn't really any difference, is it?
Yeah.
You know, there's a million people that have changed my life in music who haven't sold a lot of records. They're your own special finds, aren't they? Yeah. And so therefore, if you wanted to be the kind of artist to do that to other people, be an inspiration, then you should do as much as possible, probably.
Back in 2001, I think, when you were on tour with Ladytron, were you? It says you're that you were the touring bassist. Did you help them make that record, or was that just kind of a?
I wouldn't say I helped them make it. I was on a couple of singles and on some tracks on Light and Magic.
How did that
So
all
I played bass
come
on
about?
the record, but you know, I I suppose that doesn't mean I didn't help produce the record or write the songs.
Like, are they friends of yours? Like, how did that come about and then suddenly end?
I just left.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did it for 2.5 years. Toured and played with them, did some recording, and did what I wanted to do whilst I had my other band, Supernumerary, and I was putting out records through Ninja Tune then. And then, when I got back from touring China with them, I thought it's not going to get any better than that. And now I wanted to do full time my new project, because I've been putting out a few Pop Levi singles on 7-inch on Invicta Hi-Fi at that point, but I wanted to do something on a bigger level, and I couldn't do that at the same time as Ladytron, so I just left. I started playing in Liverpool, and around that time I wanted to move to LA, and it took me about 2 years to get the deal I wanted, which would pay for me to move to LA. And then I brought the rest of my band that I'd formed over that 2-year period over here and started playing here, and then put out the record.
Do you talk to them anymore, or is
To people in Ladytron?
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to them for a while, but you know, I don't see them. I don't have reason to really.
I have a few more questions I wanted to ask.
Have you ever ran a marathon?
Have I ever run a marathon?
Yeah.
I skated one once.
Did you?
Yeah, I did rollerblading back in '97.
Yeah.
That wasn't very fun.
You rollerbladed for the 20 odd miles.
Yeah.
Wow. Where?
San Jose, I think it was, or it was up there somewhere.
I'd love to run a marathon. I've been running regularly recently over the last year or two. Maybe 3 or so, but I know that could be.
So where are you going from here?
I'm going to spend 2 weeks relaxing in LA and finishing writing for the new record. And then I'm going to go to Norway to stay with my friend and make the record there. And then I don't know what I'm doing after that. I really don't, genuinely. I don't know where I'm going to live. I'm open to suggestions. Suggestions and helping hands.
Helping hand.
Alright. I think we're good. We have some talking and storytelling, and we've met plenty, and I think we're okay. So now we're going to go run and shoot 8mm, and we'll get you paid so you can be on your merry little way.
Cool.
And we're good. Thank you very much.
Cool,
So
thanks,
half-assed, but
dude, this, you know, it's fine. We just, you know, just cut it to fuck and put it backwards.
yeah.